out of town, so we didn't have our scheduled meetings.
Recreation Committee.
Everything is proceeding along there. In regards to the pool, we're just finalizing some bid spec information. Chris Maney's working on that, and we should be going out to bid here very soon, so. We basically look to get permission to split out the bathhouse construction from the pool construction from the state. They said we could do that, so we had to make some adjustments to the bid specs, and that should be getting wrapped up here, so very close.
Personnel department.
Nothing.
Nothing in the building?
Still wait for our hearing. I spoke with him twice.
IT, Matt.
This month, I learned about a grant opportunity for towns who are willing to adopt New York State's Unified Solar Permit, which is basically in an effort to facilitate more residential investment in solar energy. If you want to put a solar panel on your house, you have to go through some pretty serious permitting processes depending on what town you live in. So New York State has this idea for an expedited solar permit for residential purposes. It's a one-page deal instead of, every town's probably different, so I don't know what our current status is. This is interesting because they are offering incentives to towns to adopt it. You get a grant of between $2,500 and $5,000 if you adopt the expedited permitting process. So towns throughout New York are being made aware of this. I learned about it through my brother who attended a conference and learned it through all different avenues, but I studied this. I haven't talked to John Matheson, our code enforcement officer, about it yet. I just talked to Mark for the first time about it just now. I hope that we'll go for it, and I don't know what the process is for changing a code, adopting a code, but Mark had mentioned that if we're gonna go through that process, there's probably things that can be upgraded in different chapters of our code.
Yeah, if we're gonna do something and put in the zoning ordinance or whatnot, we might
Well,
handle it.
John Taylor, I don't know if he knows about it, on the planning board, chairman of the planning board.
Are you talking for farms?
This is for anybody, this is residential.
Oh, for residential?
Yeah,
Residential,
it's
yeah.
It takes me 10 minutes.
to
review.
permit somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should
I don't
adopt
Don't
think-
need a resolution.
We don't have
for
a lot,
anything
we don't have a
more
lot
or
of that here.
It's
but
part of
there
his job description.
Probably are towns that do.
Yeah, I think we need to give it to John and see what he's doing.
I don't recall us
John's
having any
requirement.
issues with solar panels on our planning board, but I'm sure there's towns that are, oh, we don't want those on the roof, or we don't, want them here or there, but I don't believe we have any issues there.
And
Okay, well, I don't wanna get into whether or not solar panels belong anywhere. All I wanna do is for the town to simplify the permitting process, cause whether or not the code enforcement officer decides to permit it, I don't care. I just wanna have the simplified application process so we can get our $2,500.
Right.
So I'm bringing this up because I think we should pay attention to this, and we'll see if, what everybody's opinion is about it, and maybe we'll adopt it, or maybe we'll reject it. I believe Meredith's looking at it also.
Yeah, if it's a way to get $2,500 or $5,000, probably.
Yeah, which you can use for, I had the idea that we could use it for, we're developing that joint website with the village, and they're encouraging you to let the public know, use the grant to raise awareness and stuff, so we could raise awareness through a new website that has to be paid for. We wanted that website anyway, or, there's other ideas. So that I thought it fit under the IT. And if we already have a simplified process for permitting, that's good. This would be, maybe this is more complicated than our current process, but.
It is.
Just too easy to get on.
No, there's a permit application process that's developed and already in place, and then it's go to review with the code enforcement officer. And he has a certain amount of days in order to review it. Yes or no?
this,
And
I'm not sure.
the fees are nowhere near $2,500 for,
Well, they can get
Solar.
$2,500 to build,
Rebate?
to put them in, is what I'm understanding, right? For the
No,
help,
the
to-
town
No.
would get,
for the town,
the town would get a grant if we adopt this
Oh, the town gets a grant.
streamlined permit process.
okay,
The,
I'm good for grants.
what you choose to charge for an application.
you want more paperwork?
I don't care if I
You're
get
talking about the
2,500,
state,
but
more
it's a
paperwork.
simplified, application, I can get 25 to 5,000 bucks, sure. Why not?
Just worries me when the state says it's simplified.
Well, anything I can get back from the state, you know, anytime. They take enough from me.
Mhm.
That's the IT report.
Alrighty. Okay, moving on, code enforcement report.
I noted in the code enforcement report that we had a ticket issued. It went to court, the guy pled guilty, had time to clean it up, so I think everybody kind of was as flexible as possible in this case, and then he didn't clean it up.
Didn't clean it up,
And then he didn't show up for court when he was asked to, and so now he's got a big fine. So the point is, the town tries to be flexible and gives people multiple opportunities.
He was given ample time, I think.
Maybe you can use the 3,000 to clean it up.
Doesn't have it anymore. That was his tipping fees.
Yeah.
Motion to accept the code enforcement report?
So moved.
Oh,
Second.
well,
I'll
I'll second
do a
it, yeah.
second.
The only question I would have is so he pays the $3,000 fine, but we still have junk on the property. What happens then?
No, it still has to be cleaned up. It's
The judge is gonna
show
issue
up.
him another order
Oh,
to
okay,
clean up,
okay.
so yeah,
So it'll be 3,000 and it gets
yeah,
more
if he comes
time.
back again next month, cause he hasn't done it, it'll probably go up from there.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Let's see. Everybody has a chance to look at the justice court report?
Yes.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Town clerk's monthly report. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we did get 2 more notices from New York City for 2 more parcels they're trying to chop up and take off the tax rolls here.
Where are those locations?
Let's see, first one is County Route 16, on the map. Looks to me like it was the old Hoyt farm, would be my guess. I might have to check the tax map on it, but.
How many
they're
acres?
proposing, let's see, one block is 119.93, the other is 5.09. And I think what they're proposing is, portion to be retained by the owner is gonna be 8.35 acres on the 119 plus acre lot, and on the 5.09 acre lot, the owner is gonna retain 3.64 acres, which will cover the buildings, houses on the property.
Can I see that, please?
Yep.
This went to ZBA?
It's going to the planning board. I don't know if they've looked at it yet or not.
They can't do nothing anyway.
I know, I'm just,
They're gonna be looking at it.
Too bad.
Who
That's
really,
the way it is.
not to put anybody, I mean, I don't know if anybody here has the answer, but if somebody wanted to lease land from the city for farming, is that possible now?
Yes, it is.
It is.
Mhm.
And who who administers that program?
Well, you can go through the Watershed Ag Council, and they can facilitate that. So, I mean, that's one avenue to go to.
That's
Initially, they
probably
weren't
the
doing it, but
easiest.
they do
Yeah,
now.
no, they have gotten more flexible about,
Yeah.
And I did just get a new map, last county board meeting, that has the properties that have, access without a DEP permit
Mhm.
for hiking or whatever you wanna do. So, we'll try to find a place for that somewhere where we can
It's
hang
just a
out.
big paper map.
It's a big paper map. It's got all the properties they own that are accessible without a DEP permit. Other properties they own, if you don't have a DEP permit, you don't. get
That'd
the
be a cool
property.
thing to put on the website. If people, I mean, for the hiking purposes or.
They made it easier to get the permit too, so,
Mhm.
you know.
They've been a little more workable lately.
Yeah.
How many acres is it total?
It was 119.
124,
Okay.
How much was the other one? It was two of them?
5.
Oh, five. Okay.
So 19 and 5.
Fulton County 16.
Yeah.
Yeah, it covers both sides of the road. There's barn on the right as you go out, and 2 dwellings on the left.
Hmm.
Let's see.
That's,
There you go.
And I've got a letter here from Krista Schaefer, the Board of Supervisors. The county adopted resolution 168 for fighting over assessment on properties. It kind of gives the finance committee of the county the option if the town, the school board, and any other involved parties, whether it's village or whatever, agree they all wanna work together and try to keep somebody from getting their tax assessment chopped down to nothing. The county can, under certain criteria, there's a whole list of standards, which if you wanna take a look at that.
is that was that done because the funds that were put into the watershed agreement to do just that are not there anymore?
I'm not sure what the total rationale, because the county had already had the option of doing this. This is just kind of letting the finance committee take it on themselves without bringing it to the whole board,
So if
in
it,
certain limited circumstances.
so if a town, if the city comes in, which they can do after 20 years, and asks to have their assessment, and in order to, you know, if we said no, and now they wanna take us to court,
As long
those
as,
monies
yeah,
would be
if it-
available, we
Yeah,
could
if
borrow.
Delhi
that, or
School
we could
District wanted
Not
to,
borrow that money.
you know, for this one, all the parties would have to agree that they wanna protest
Okay.
against the reduction.
So the town and the school, we'd all have to
The
come
town, the
together
school,
on
if it's
it.
in the village or whatever,
Okay.
as long as they all agree and ask the county to help, the county,
Right.
you know, if it meets the criteria, can, you know, the finance committee can go ahead and authorize participation.
Because, like I said, initially, the funding was, it was mandated that New York City have a fund that the towns could, you know, use in order to fight these.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the status on the funds is.
Those monies were all used up. I
Yeah, I
know
think.
several years ago, and that fund was never replenished.
And I think the county's position is the schools in the county are the biggest losers, you know, as far as dollar amount, so if they can help, why not? So, and like I said, in other cases, I mean, if the school district decided they didn't want to, but it was a big project, we can still ask the county, it would just have to be approved by the whole board, so. it
So who
doesn't-
fights over the attorney who's assigned to that grievance?
That would have
Which
to be-
attorney is the one that's going to be used? Is it gonna be the county attorney, the town attorney, or the school attorney?
Basically, if it's
come up
going
with
through the town assessor, it's gonna be whoever the town chooses to use. I mean, I would hope that there'd be some dialogue between the school and,
Well, the other two parties have to
Yeah.
agree to the one attorney,
right,
because that's what it's supposed to do, is to streamline the
Right.
cost on attorney fees.
yeah, you'd have to reach an agreement on who, you know, the consensus was who you wanted handling the case.
Okay.
Why do you think that it's only for properties assessed over 500,000? It says it's a minimum.
I think it's just the amount of tax revenue that gets lost.
It doesn't equate otherwise.
Otherwise, it's kinda, you could spend
Cost
way
prohibitive.
more, yeah, you could
Won't
spend
make
way
any
more
money
in
in return.
court than you'd ever get back or save.
Right.
So this is kind of where it economically makes sense,
Your break-even point.
pretty much. But, and you've got copies of the county board minutes from August 27th and September 24th. So if there's any questions on any of that.
I understand we're getting very close to finalizing the new social services commissioner.
As far as I know, I think they've pretty much finished with the interview process.
I understand
I'm
they're down
assuming
to two.
we're gonna be, getting a recommendation one way or another. Soon. I don't know whether it'll happen next week at our regular board meeting or not. but-
I understood it was down to 2 people, and both of them are in-house people, from what I understand.
They don't let me know everything.
They don't want me to know either, but somehow I find out.
Anyway, any other questions for me, or? Maggie hasn't got the supervisor's report done. We've been having trouble getting all the, bank statements. And I think she just got the last of them yesterday, so we'll take care of that at our next regular meeting. Abstracts. Is there a motion to pay abstracts number 1550 through 1593?
There was the one that was on hold.
With, yeah, with the, note on the, which number was it?
1581.
1581. Number 1581, we're gonna hold on the first line and turn that into insurance.
I'll make that motion.
All right, so a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any other business? Motion to adjourn?
Motion made.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're out of here.
There's no executive session.
Yeah, it's nice, isn't it?
First time and,
Huh?
first
Seems
time
like
in
the
a
first
long
time in a
time.
year.
Yeah.
I haven't even been here a year.
No.
Anything happen with the videos? The videos?
The videos.
Yeah, wasn't there that CGI company that was gonna do the videos at Delray?
Yeah, they never contacted you.
Oh,